Good day everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the developing a sustainable tourism and hospitality industry. At the end of this chapter, you should be able to appreciate the contribution of tourism and hospitality business in the sustainable world economy, understand the issues, challenges, trends, and development in developing sustainable tourism and hospitality industry, grasp the full context of engaging as a stakeholder in tourism and hospitality business, develop the interest to engage in personal, professional, and society-enhancing practices in tourism and hospitality business in the context of valuing people, planet, and profit, and develop the interest to pursue green travel and hospitality business. So, what is sustainability? Sustainability is about planning and acting responsibly today so that future generations can also meet their needs, and it involves managing three main types of resources wisely, which are the natural resources like water, land, and energy, and social resources like people and communities, and economic resources like money and businesses. So the goal is to balance these resources fairly and effectively. Simply caring for the environment is not enough. True sustainability happens when economic, environmental, and social aspects are all works together. This balance is known as the trifecta of sustainability. This is the trifecta of sustainability. The diagram visually represents the three interconnected pillars of sustainability. First is the environment. This represents the natural resources and the ecosystems that are essential for life. Next is the economy. This shows that economic systems and activities that provide the human needs. And society. This reflects the social structures, equity, and well-being of people within the community. So we have key stakeholders in tourism and hospitality. In the tourism industry, there are 8 major sectors or groups involved. First, we have accommodation like hotels and resorts. Next is transportation like airlines, buses, and taxis. Next is tour operators, companies organizing tours and travel packages. Next is tour wholesalers, a company selling wholesale travel packages to tour operators. Next is attractions and theme parks. These are the entertainment destinations. Next is retail travel agents, businesses selling travel services to consumers. Next is information services like travel guides, websites. Next is exhibits, meetings, and events. Organizations hosting convention and events. Meanwhile, there are four identified segments of the hospitality industry. First, we have food and beverages, for example, is restaurants, bar, and catering services. And next is travel and tourism, like tour operators and travel agents. Next is lodging, like hotels, motels, and vacation rentals. And lastly is recreation. These are the activities such as amusement parks, guided tours, and sporting events.
So, for our next topic, principles of sustainable tourism and hospitality business. So, sustainable tourism and hospitality pertains to practices in travel and accommodation that met the framework of economic, social, and governance factors and adhere to the principle of equal importance to the care of people, planet, and profit. So, sustainable development po, as applied in the business of tourism and hospitality, it underscores the ability of enterprises and individuals in practice to meet the needs of the industry and all its identified sectors and its host communities today, without compromising the ability of future generations to satisfy their own needs. So, um, to make it simple po, it defines sustainable tourism and hospitality as practices that meet the economic, social, and governance factors while prioritizing the well-being of the people, the planet, and the profits. It also ensures the industry's needs are met today without jeopardizing the future generation's ability to met their own needs. So, ano po to? It emphasizes the need to balance economic growth with environmental and social considerations. So for example po is a hotel. Yes. A hotel could implement sustainable practices by using renewable energy sources like solar panels, ganon. Reducing water consumption, sourcing food locally, and supporting local communities through employment and partnerships. So, to simplify po it, sustainable tourism po means making tourism good for the environment and local people. It's about balancing, making money while protecting nature and helping communities. That's all. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Today, I'll be talking about developing a sustainable tourism and hospitality industry, and we'll start with the concept of people, planet, and profit, also known as the triple bottom line of sustainability. This means that for tourism and hospitality to be truly sustainable, we need to balance three important pillars. First is the people, which refers to the social impact how tourism affects the local communities and their way of life. Next is the planet, which focuses on the environment, how we protect our natural resources while developing tourism. And last is the profit, which talk about the economic side, how tourism can help generate income, jobs, and investments. So in short, we don't just focus on making money, we also consider how tourism helps people and how it affects the planet. By balancing these three pillars, we make sure tourism becomes a long-term benefit for everyone, not just for today, but also for future generations. For the next slide, the environmental aspect of sustainable tourism. So when we hear the term environmental sustainability, we often think only about protecting nature, but it's actually more than that kasi kasama pa dito yung iba't ibang environment na ginagamit ng tourism, natural man or man-made. So here the key parts we need to understand. First is natural resources like oceans, rivers, and forests. So these are essentials not just for nature but also for tourist activities like swimming, hiking, or sightseeing. Next is the natural environment. So kasama dito yung mountains, lakes, and scenic landscapes. So these are often the main attraction for tourists. Next is the farm environment, refers to things like eco-farms or man-made forests that supports agritourism and ecotourism. Next is the wildlife, is also a big part of this aspect. Biodiversity and activities like birds watching, animal safaris, or hiking trails are popular in sustainable tourism. Lastly, the built environment. So ito naman po yung mga heritage sites, lumang bayan, mga infrastructures na sinusuport ng tourism like yung kalsada, tulay, yung mga transport system. So the environmental aspect is not just about protecting nature, but it's also about managing all these environments responsibly so they can continue to support tourism without being destroyed in the process. So moving on, let's now go to the society aspect of sustainable tourism. So this part focuses on how tourism affects the local communities and the way people live. It's about the impact of their culture, lifestyle, and values. Tourism can bring a lot of positive changes like cultural exchange, where tourists and locals learn from each other, and also improvements in local services like transportation, roads, or public facilities because of the growing demand. But on the other hand, if tourism is not managed well, it can lead to negative effects. For example, isa na dito ang cultural loss, yung unti-unting nawawala or nagbabago ang culture ng mga locals kasi minsan kailangan nilang mag-adjust para lang sa gusto ng mga tourists. Second, the social displacement naman, which means the lives of local people are affected. Pwedeng tumaas ang mga presyo ng bilihin o minsan pinapaalis po sila sa mga lugar nila para bigyan ng way ang tourism development like hotels nga or resorts. So, in sustainable tourism, we need to make sure that tourism helps the community, not just the visitors. Yung goal dito is to protect their culture and way of life while still welcoming tourism po. So may mga important factors that should be considered when it comes to the social aspect of sustainability in tourism. It's not enough that tourism is active in a place. It also needs to be regularly evaluated to make sure it's really helping the community and not harming it. So ito yung mga some key factors to look at. First is the depth and homogeneity of the local culture. So this means how strong and unified the local culture is. It's important because culture is what makes a place unique and attractive to tourists. Next is the type of tourism and accommodations. What kinds of tourism are being promoted in the area? Are the accommodations suitable for the culture and needs of the community? Next is the economic status and social integration of the locals. So, how is the local economy doing? Are the people actually involved in tourism or are they left out of the benefits? Next is the population versus space capacity for tourism. So, how many people live in the area compared to how people tourist it can realistically handle. So, overcrowding yung mga big issue na yan. So, last is the local government support. So, does the local government actively support tourism and hospitality? So, having clear programs or policies really helps in keeping tourism sustainable. So, ito po yung mga factors na need natin to be checked regularly para to make sure tourism is truly helping the community grow and not causing more harm than good. So, let's come now naman sa economy aspect. So, sustainable tourism has a direct impact on the local economy. So, the economic benefits are visible because they affect income and business growth. So, first is the related industries growth. So, tourism boosts other sectors like hospitality, transport, and retail, creating more jobs and opportunity for local businesses. Next naman po yung mga benefits for all social classes. Tourism can bring financial benefits to even the lowest members of society, helping to improve local livelihoods. Next is the increase naman demand for products or services. So more tourists create higher demand for goods and services, which boosts local production and markets. And next is the ease of markets entry. Tourism allows local entrepreneurs to easily enter the market by offering services like accommodations or tours. Next is the capacity building. The demand for tourism services helps build local skills and expertise, strengthening the workforce and economy. Enterprises in the tourism and hospitality area benefits the community on the following economic parameters. First is the employment generation. So, nagkakaroon ng jobs sa tourism industry kaya maraming locals ang nakakapasok in a various sectors like hospitality, transportation, and services. Next is enterprise creation. Dahil sa tourists, maraming businesses ang nagsisimula from sa mga maliliit na tindahan hanggang sa malalaking hotels na nakikinabang ang local economy. Next is increase in disposable income. So, tumataas ang incomes ng mga locals dahil sa tourism-related jobs at businesses kaya't nagiging mas magaan ang kanilang buhay. Next is the increase in propensity to save. Dahil sa mas mataas na income, mas madali para sa mga locals na mag-ipon na nagbibigay sa kanila ng financial security at mas maraming opportunity in the future. Next is influx of foreign investments. So the tourism industry attracts foreign investments, improving infrastructure, facilities, and overall economic growth. However, there are some challenges associated with tourism enterprises. So first is the seasonality of employment. Madaming tourism jobs are seasonal, leading to unstable income for workers depende sa tourist demand. Next is the below minimum wage practices. In some cases, yung mga workers in the tourism industry may face wages below the legal minimum, affecting their livelihoods. Next is insufficient infrastructure. Some new tourism areas lack the necessary infrastructure, requiring additional investments to accommodate tourists. Next is the excess demand. So yung mga tourism can create more demand than the local community can supply training resources like accommodation and services. Next is the undocumented earnings. So may mga tourism-related activities may involve unreported earnings na nag-lead to the tax evasions and reducing potential government revenue. So that's all my part. Thank you.
So for the next slide, it's all about the role of tourism and hospitality enterprises on the sustainability agenda. So for the first one, sustainable use of natural resources. Kumbaga, using resources like water and land responsibly. For example, sa Boracay, ginagamit na lang recycled water, yung mga recycled water for landscaping instead of fresh water from the already strained local supply. So for the second one is the sustainable consumption of goods and services. For example, ito naman yung using and buying goods. Bumibili tayo, ginagamit natin yung mga goods and services na hindi na-harm yung environment. Like for example, sa hotel in El Nido, ginagamit na lang yung mga local source food and materials para ma-reduce yung transportation emission and para masuportahan yung mga local farmers. Next, sustainable management of ecosystem. Ito naman para maprotektahan yung mga natural environment like coral reefs and forests. Like for example, yung sa tour operator sa Palawan, ini-ensure nila na yung tour nila is hindi na madadamage yung mga fragile na coral reefs and nagpo-follow din sila ng mga eco-friendly practices. For the next one is sustainable tourism and planning management. Kumbaga, planning tourism activities para ma-minimize natin yung mga negative impacts. Like for example, yung government ng Cebu, in-implement nila yung mga regulations para malimit yung mga number of visitors sa mga tourist destination site para ma-prevent yung overcrowding and ma-prevent din yung damage ng environment. So, next is the sustainable government and social infrastructure to support businesses. So, kumbaga, having the right laws or batas, mga regulation and support system para in place to ma-help natin yung business na mag-operate sustainably. Like for example, yung DOT, ginagrant nila and nag-training sila for the small businesses to help them implement the eco-friendly practices. Next, sustainable plans for cultural heritage, conservation, and studies, and for conducting tourism and hospitality-related researches. Ito naman yung pinaprotektahan nila mga historical sites and cultural tradition while conducting research para ma-improve yung sustainable practices. Like for example, yung National Museum, nakikolaborate sila sa mga local communities para ma-preserve yung mga historical sites and traditional crops na ginagawa nila while nagre-research sila ng sustainable tourism strategies para ma-benefit yung local population. For the next one is the sustainable community engagement in local tourism effort. Like, eto naman yung involving local communities in tourism planning and operations. Like for example, yung mga community-based tourism initiative in Banawe, kung saan yung mga locals owns and manage homestays and guided tours. So directly nagbe-benefit ito from tourism revenue. So for the next one is the sustainable human capital development for innovation and creativity. Ito naman yung mga training and in-educate yung mga tao in the tourism sector or in the people to the tourism sector para mag-come up with the new sustainable ideas. Like for example, yung mga university nag-o-offer ng mga course on sustainable tourism management. Like for example, sa amin as a tourism student, this one, pinag-aaralan namin yung mga sustainable tourism subject. para ma-educate kami and also to produce graduate who can develop innovative, eco-friendly tourism practices. So next is the sustainable marketing and stakeholder relationship. Ito naman yung pinapromote natin yung tourism in a way that is environmentally and socially responsible and building strong relationships sa mga businesses and communities. Like for example, a tourism campaign na nag-highlight ng mga natural beauty of the Philippines while in-emphasize natin yung importance ng protecting it for the future generation. So next is for the last one is the sustainable networking and linkages to promote synergy and cooperation. Ito naman, kinoconnect natin yung mga different stakeholders in the tourism sector para mag-work together towards sustainability. Like for example, a network of eco-lodges in Bohol. Nagko-collaborate sila to share best practices, ma-promote yung sustainable tourism, and as well as ma-collective nila, ma-manage nila yung environmental impact. So that's all for the role of tourism and hospitality enterprises on the sustainable agenda. So for the next slide is this dinadiscuss dito yung mga challenges and opportunities for making tourism and hospitality more sustainable sa Pilipinas. So, ang main point nila is para ma-achieve completely yung sustainable tourism sector for a long-term goal, syempre. Kumbaga, to have a positive step na kailangan nilang gawin. So, yung transition kasi sobrang hirap but sa tourism and hospitality sector sa Pilipinas ay nagko-contribute significantly para sa greener economy. So, for example, maraming resort sa Palawan na nag-a-adapt ng mga sustainable practices such as ginagamit nila yung mga solar energy, nagre-reduce sila ng water consumption through gray water recycling system, and also nag-source sila ng food locally para man-minimize yung environmental impact. However, mas completely na-eliminate yung mga carbon footprints. Ito pa rin yung nagre-remain as a challenge para sa kanila.
So, ayun. Good day, everyone. Let's proceed to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Yan. So, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are set of 17 global goals adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015 as part of the 2030 Agenda of Sustainable Development. So, they are a blueprint for achieving a better and more sustainable future for all the people and the planet. So each goal address a major global challenges such as no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions. And lastly is yung partnerships for the goals. So, the Sustainable Development Goals aims to end poverty, to protect the planet, and ensure prosperity in peace by 2030. So, they encourage collaboration among governments, businesses, and communities to create sustainable and equitable world. Yan. So, for the next slide, what is green innovations? So, it defines by OECD as innovation aimed at reducing environmental harm. Yan. Involves both technological like solar energy and non-technology like eco policies, mga methods, encourages creativity in reducing ecological footprints. So, it refers to the development and application of new products, processes, services, or technologies that reduce yung sabi ko kanina is reduce environmental harm and promote sustainability. So, it focuses on minimizing negative impacts on the environment while improving efficiency and economic performance. So, for example, renewable energy technologies like yung nasabi ko kanina, solar, ayan, or wind power, eco-friendly packaging and biodegradable materials, ano. And waste reduction and recycling innovations, cleaner production methods in manufacturing, electric vehicles and green public transportation. So green innovation is important, ano, because it helps address challenges like climate change, pollution, and resources depletion, ano. So while also creating new economic opportunity, ano, mga trabaho, yan, in sustainable industries. Yan. So for the next slide is objectives of green innovation in tourism, ano. So analyze how green practices help transform tourism into a green economy, understand the government and community support for eco initiatives, find strategies to promote green tourism locally and globally, ano. So hindi lang yan. So marami mga objectives of green innovation in tourism, ano, including yung mga number 1, reduce environmental impact. Yan, ano. Kasama dyan yung minimize pollution, waste and carbon emission from tourism activities. Yan. Number 2, yung promote sustainable resource use, encourage the efficient use of water, energy, and raw materials in tourism operation. Number 3, yung to enhance, ano, the tourist experience sustainably. Ayan. Offer eco-friendly experience that attracts environmentally conscious travelers without harming natural or cultural heritage, ano. Number 4, support local communities, ano. It create green jobs, ano, so and support local business through sustainable tourism practices. Number 5, yung protect, ano, natural and cultural assets. So conserve the biodiversity, ecosystem, and cultural landmarks that are often central of tourism destination. Siyempre, yung number 6, encourage innovation and competitiveness, ano. So foster new sustainable technologies and business models that improves competitiveness, ano, in the tourism sectors. And lastly, siyempre, including din yung raise environmental awareness. So, ano, educate tourists and the industry stakeholders on the importance of sustainability and responsible travels. Ayan. For the next slide is examples of green ideas. Una na dyan is yung tourism sectors. Energy, ayan, solar powered accommodations, for water, quotas in marine activities to avoid overuse, waste, ayan, recycling yung mga waste natin, ayan, and use of biodegradable material, biodiversity, protecting ecotourism sites, eco-retrofitting, ano, buildings, and lastly yung hospital sector, ayan, so energy, solar powered accommodation, water, reusing lines and water efficiency fixtures. For the waste, waste management, meals local farm to table sourcing. For the next slide is white matters, ano. White matters. So number 1, it helps address climate change and ecological degradation, ano. Number 2, ensures long-term sustainability of tourism destinations. And number 3, promotes economic growth with environmental protections. So, for the next slide is goals of green tourism and hospitality. And so, number 1 in goals of the green tourism and hospitality is yung optimize economic benefits, ano. So, this means ensuring that green tourism not only helps the environment but also supports, ano, yung mga local economies, businesses, and job creation by attracting tourists in a sustainable way, you know. Number 2, maximize resources use. So making the most of out of available resources like energy, water, and materials by using them efficiently, ano, and avoiding waste. Number 3, promote green tourism effectively, ano. So raising awareness in location tourists, businesses and communities about the benefits of benefits and practices of environmental friendly tourism, ano. So number 4 is yung encourage ongoing research and improvement, ano. So continuously studying and improving practices to adapt to new challenges and technologies. So ensuring long-term sustainability. Ayan. Number 5 is minimize waste through materials efficiency. Ano? So reducing the amount of waste produced by using material wisely, reusing, recycling, and avoiding single-use item when possible. Yan. Number 6, promote renewable energy resources. So, encouraging the use of solar, wind, hydro, and other renewable energies in tourism facilities instead of fossil fuels to cut down on pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. And lastly is yung improve systems and operational processes. So, enhancing how tourism and hospitality business operates such as energy management, so water usage and supply chains to be more sustainable and environmentally friendly. So, for the next slide, conclusion, So, including green innovation, offers a path forward where tourism can grow without damaging the environment, So, the cooperation of various stakeholders, from government to local businesses, owners to tourists themselves, is crucial in building a more sustainable and resilient tourism industry. So, that's all for chapter 12. So thank you for listening. Hope you learned something in our report. Thank you po.